And this chick had just came back to the car, and people had like smashed like all 4 windows out of the car, and they stole all her suitcases. And this was when I first moved to the city, and I was like, dang, yo, this place is insane, yo. And like she was like crying on the street. Top 10 places in San Francisco to get your car broken into. What up, YouTube? It's your boy Jermaine back with another video. Never thought I would be making a video of the top 10 places in San Francisco to get your car broken into, aka places you might want to use extreme caution in when you go to. So anyway, let's start first on the list. These are not really in any particular category at all. I would probably say the first one on this list is the one I noticed the most, but that's just the one I noticed the most. First on the list will be the Fisherman's Wharf neighborhood. Holy moly, holy cow, yo. If you want your car broken into, if you want your SUV, if you want all your windows smashed up and stuff, go park in the Fisherman's Wharf neighborhood and leave your suitcases in there. This neighborhood is very, very notorious for these crimes because there's a lot of tourists in these neighborhoods, and usually what tourists do, maybe they'll get to the city on Friday at 11, right? And they check into their hotel at 2 or 3. So once they get to the city, they go to Fisherman's Wharf. Maybe they go grab a bite to eat. They leave the suitcases in the car, and guess what? That's when it happens, you know? So you want to use extreme caution in the Fisherman's Wharf neighborhood. You also want to watch some of the garages. I don't really know the garages, but I definitely have heard stories of like some of the garages not being safe. Probably your bestest bet will be use valet. If you come and go to the Fisherman's Wharf neighborhood, use valet, and the valet will tell you to take things out of your car, you know, or maybe the valet will store things, and then the valet will take your car and park your car. Also, if your car is broken into when you have it valeted, it's a little bit different with the insurance process. I don't necessarily know if it's better or worse, but like just pointed out, it is a little bit different. Next on the list, number 2, is Lombard Street. Holy cow. Lombard Street is a very, very popular attraction for car break-ins. And the reason why Lombard Street is very popular, Lombard Street is one of those places that people usually go to right when they get to the city, you know, right when they have the bags in the car before they've checked into the hotel. Or Lombard Street is one of those places where you would go by after you've already checked out of your hotel and you have your bags in your car, you know. So I would say Lombard Street. Yeah, definitely check out Lombard Street. It's in the middle of a neighborhood, and there's not that much foot traffic there. The only foot traffic in Lombard Street for the most part is like tourists going to see Lombard, right? Going to see Lombard Street. It's not it's not very neighborhoody. Like you have other neighborhoods like North Beach or like Noe Valley where like it's very like neighborhood, like the neighborhood watches out for the neighborhood a lot. It's kind of not that type of neighborhood because it's kind of affluent and small, you know, and like the houses are big and it's just not a lot of foot traffic, you know. So definitely watch out Lombard Street. That's very, very important. Next on the list is Palace of Fine Arts. Palace of Fine Arts is just the same as Lombard Street. It's one of those places where, you know, people, you know, they'll get out of the car before they check into their hotel, you know, check out, you know, the Palace of Fine Art because it's very, very beautiful place. But that's a very, very popular hotspot. Rule of thumb, if you're ever parking your car in the city and you see broken glass on the street, or if you see broken glass in the parking lot, what that means is someone just got their car broken into there. So that's just a rule of thumb whenever you park. Even if it doesn't matter where you are. That's something that you always want to watch out for. Also, something else to tell you guys, if your neighborhood did not make this list, please don't feel bad. I was looking at a map of San Francisco, and there's a lot of neighborhoods I could have added to this list, but I wanted to, you know, do 10. Okay, so the next one on this list will be the Tenderloin. Okay, so the Tenderloin is a neighborhood in downtown. I think you guys are familiar with the Tenderloin, but the Tenderloin can be popular for car break-ins. You know, it's usually more like, it's not the same car break-ins as you see in Fisherman's Wharf. The ones in Fisherman's Wharf, they're going for like suitcases and stuff. The people in Tenderloin, it's a whole different crowd, and they're thirsty for like anything they can get, you know. They'll break into your car and steal a cell phone charger. Versus like maybe people in Fisherman's Wharf probably wouldn't do that because, you know, a cell phone charger is not worth it for them. But people in TL don't leave shit in your car, yo. Like, nothing. Like, for real, don't even leave trash in your car. So that's one thing I would say about the TL. And also the TL is a larger neighborhood too, versus Fisherman's Wharf. Fisherman's Wharf is a little bit smaller, or at least the parts while the action happened is a little bit smaller. Next neighborhood on the list is the Mission. Now, the reason why I say the Mission, the reason why I include the Mission on this list is because Mission is a tourist place, but it's not a tourist place like Fisherman's Wharf and Lombard Street. It's a different type of tourists that go to the Mission District. And the Mission District is very, very large. And by being very, very large, a lot of car break-ins happen in the Mission District just because the size of the Mission District is so large. So the Mission District is definitely makes this list. Right when I first moved to the city, I remember it was a car parked at like 20th and Mission. And this chick had just came back to the car, and people had like smashed like all 4 windows out of the car, and they stole all her suitcases. And this was when I first moved to the city, and I was like, dang, yo, this place is insane, yo. And like she was like crying on the street because, you know, they had stole like everything, you know. It was just insane. Next on the list is going to be Soma. Okay, this is my neighborhood, Soma. Soma definitely makes the list. Soma makes the list for multiple reasons. Certain places in Soma could just be really, really, really rough, yo, at certain times. For example, usually on Saturday nights, a lot of things happen on Harrison Street. A lot of things happen because there's, you know, lower Harrison Street, you have a lot of these bars, right? And what people usually do is, you don't want to make this mistake. When people get ready to go to the bars, usually they come from like maybe Oakland, or they come from Richmond, or they come from someplace like right outside the Bay. And when they go to the bars, usually like it's a bunch of friends, right? Maybe 4 friends, okay? So someone takes off their jacket, puts it in the trunk, and when they, you know, put it in to the trunk, the people like know like that's the one to go for. In some places, I've been to it on you know, Sunday mornings, like walking around Soma. You'll see like glass on the street, and you'll see glass on the street where like they've literally broken into every single car. And it was people going to nightclubs, you know, because it's always like Sunday morning, meaning that it happened Saturday night, and then later in the afternoon by Sunday morning, the city's already cleaned it up. So like you wouldn't even notice it. So a lot of stuff happened in Soma. Soma is also a pretty big neighborhood too, so it covers a lot of square footage, you know. So I would say, yeah, definitely watch out in Soma. Watch out back in Soma, yo. Once again, don't leave anything out. Don't leave anything visible. Next on the list will be the financial district. Now, the financial district definitely makes the list because I see a lot of, like, just brazen crimes in financial district. You know, a lot of these crimes are for, they're not necessarily for, like, everyday people. They're for construction workers, right? You know, you have construction workers, they'll park, like, their white van. And a lot of their vans have tools in them and stuff like that. I see a lot of these crimes, like in the financial district, you know. Also, the financial district's very, like now it's very quiet. It's very spaced out. So, you know, sometimes you're walking down the street and you don't even see anyone on certain streets, and it's really, really quiet in the middle of the day, you know. So I would definitely say that the financial district, because like I'm in the financial district a lot. A lot of people go to the financial district, you know. Maybe you'll drive from Sacramento, you'll come to the financial district for like a couple hours because you got a meeting or something, and then you take off and leave, you know. So that's why I put the financial district on the list, because it's a very, very hot spot, and you know, there's lots of campers in the financial district and stuff like that. Next on the list, we have Gary Street, the whole street of Gary Street. Now, the reason why I say the whole street of Gary Street, some people may say, wow, why you say the whole street of Gary Street? Well, stuff always happens on Gary Street, yo. I had a friend that was staying with me once, and this is where I lived on Gary Street. And this friend was, like, moving out, and she put, like, all the stuff into her car, and then she, like, took a nap. This is something you never want to do, yo. You never want to do this. I've known this happen to a lot of people. She took a nap, and when she woke up, she went back out to her car. Someone had broke into her car and stole everything. Literally, everything. They stole everything. So, this is something that you want to watch out for. This happened in the TL, you know. We kind of think it was maybe people on the street, you know. maybe someone broke the window and then maybe a group of people came up and just took everything and just looted the car or something like that. But yeah, this definitely happened in the it's definitely happened in the TL. But it happened on Gary Street. So I'd say watch out Gary Street. Even once you get farther out, Gary Street to near the ocean, watch out in that area too. Next on the list, we have near popular parks. Now, there's a couple parks I'm going to talk about more. We'll talk more about Dolores Park, because Dolores Park is a very, 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 very popular hotspot for car break-ins, especially in the summertime, because you just have a lot of people going to the park, chilling, hanging out. People are usually opening the trunk and stuff like that, you know, taking stuff out, putting stuff in. Opening the trunk is something you don't really want to do in the city. You want to really limit how often you open your trunk, because when you open your trunk, you show like what's in there, you know. And if it's nothing in there, you're good. But if you got some stuff in there, people might want to, you know, use that and take advantage of you. So I would say be very, very cautious of opening the trunk in the city. I'm the type of person, whenever I drive, I always like to put stuff in the trunk and then drive to the place and then just park, right? Versus to park, get out of the car, and then open the trunk. You know, I'm not telling anybody to follow this advice or anything, because I know people that would never follow this advice. They just open their trunk like all the time, and I just always tell them like, hey, that's probably not the best idea. And they're like, oh, nothing's gonna happen. But things happen all the time, I'm telling you. So that's something to definitely watch out for. And the last one on the list is, I would say the Embarcadero, okay? The Embarcadero, you wanna watch out for the Embarcadero. I see a lot of crimes happen on the Embarcadero, and I see a lot of crimes that are somewhat obvious that happen on the Embarcadero. For example, I see lots of people right at Embarcadero and Market. They clean it up all the time, but then every once in a while, you'll start to see it. You'll start to see lots of tents, lots of bikes, and then you'll start to see things that just don't make sense, right? Every now and then, I'll go down there and I'll see homeless people, and they have canoes, okay? I'll go down there and I'll see homeless people, and they have things like a blow-up raft, right? They'll have all this like cooking equipment, right? Like literally cooking equipment to go camping, right? And it, you know, it just makes me wonder, like, you know, whose car did you break into and get all this from? You know, I don't want to accuse anyone of doing it, but with all the car break-ins that happen down in that area, I mean, all of them are not organized car break-ins. You know, some of them are car break-ins that are, you know, you just got a bunch of people walking by and they just see some stuff in the car and they just break the window, you know, and then they just keep on walking. So, guys, anyway, I thought I would make a video talking about the top 10 neighborhoods in San Francisco to get your car broken into, aka neighborhoods you want to use extreme caution in. But yeah, anyway, thanks a lot for watching. What an insane video to make, a video talking about where to get your car broken into San Francisco. But yep, this is where we at. This is what we doing. This is what we living. But anyway, I'm out. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Peace out, yo. I gotta go over there to Starbucks and get some coffee.